At one point in our lives, we've been invited to various celebrations, parties, whether it's a wedding, baby shower, housewarming, job celebration, and all that, retirement, name it. So you've gotten the invitation card, but did you reserve and say you're coming, right? And I see that also. Another example is when you're calling your, I think our toddlers and our, the terrible threes or the fantastic threes. Let me try to be positive. Have you ever called your child and they know you're calling them and they don't answer? It's like, hi Jay, Nelly. So I know I've been called, but have I been chosen? Because let's say you have 10 kids. I grew up in a big family. So your mom has a few things and they call out your name and they call out everybody. Amira, Aiden, Nelly, Ayub, Christine, David, Maureen, Tavon, Danelle. So everybody comes running and you've been called, right? But were you chosen? Because if you come and say yes, then your mom or your parent hands you over what they wanted to give you, or they give you what they had intended, or they send you, or they give you something, and then you come 1 hour later. I've done this. Like, I had a few things I called out. One person came, I gave it because, you did not show up. So how do we know we are chosen? You can be called. The Bible verse says very well, So many of us are called, but are we chosen? Too many are called, we are called, but how do you know that you're chosen? And this is the perfect example for like the invitation cards. You have to receive the invitation yourself. Because if someone asks, oh, how many were invited to the wedding? Me. But did you go? Did you accept the invitation? No, you didn't. So you did not get to the party. You did not get what is in the next level. So the invitation is just the first level of getting to the party. So you might actually go to the general party, but if you don't reserve to the next party, because there's always an underlying part, like, for the dinner of, reserve by this date, so how do we know? If you're chosen, you respond to the call of God to represent the kingdom on earth, to be his hands and feet. You say, God, you've called me, but I accept. With my tongue, you have to confess and say, I accept. I'm going to walk your ways. I'm going to walk a life that is pleasing to the cross. If you're chosen, you're also guided by faith to seek God. You see what others have not seen. You go the unpopular road, because the popular road, everybody has seen what is at the end. They've seen the gold. They've seen the gold that is live. So we are going the popular road, right? But the unpopular road has the gold behind it. So nobody actually sees what you're seeing. When you try to explain the vision or the calling, it's like God has called you to this place and they're like, where again? And what's there? What's there for you again? So the unpopular road, it's only you who can see the things that are there because they're given to you. They're revealed to you by faith, not by your eyes, because your eyes will go to the popular road because that's where the good things are. That's where you can see. And I love that verse, 1 Corinthians 16 something. I'll paraphrase it. Let us go for what's unseen, because what's unseen is eternal, not what we see. What we see fades very quick. So the chosen keep walking on the unpopular road because they're guided by faith. Faith will lead you to the things where people have not seen with their physical eyes. We live by faith and not by sight. So they live by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. So people might bash you and ask you whether you're out of your mind for choosing that path, but you cannot explain it because you've seen the vision. The chosen, they live intentionally. They keep on seeking and living by God's approval. It's like the antenna is synced with God's antenna. They're like continuously asking of the Spirit, continuously asking of him, like, how do I go? How do I go? And I always realize in moments of my life, there's moments I know that whatever I've said yes to is really what God has said yes to. It's like, I know for sure because I'm in sync. I know, I can feel it. I can discern the Spirit. But there are moments when I'm just like, I think God said yes. I think I can go in this way, and totally it's off. But because you're not patient, you want it so fast, so you just go according to it. But chosen, they constantly seek God's approval and the Holy Spirit. To those who called, he gave them power to become the children of God. The secrets are revealed. The secrets are revealed as a child of God. Like I always give example, when you're someone who is getting an inheritance and you never knew your dad. It's like if you never knew your dad and you are called one day, oh, your dad passed away and we have this inheritance for you. Oh yeah, he left for you this land and these buildings and blah blah blah. And you just say, okay, nice, thanks. But if you knew your dad and you knew he had billions and billions of buildings, and then you are told that during at the will reading, like, oh yeah, he left for you that building 1 and 2, and you're like, oh no, I know my dad. Of course, not in that way, not in the greedy way, but you'll have to know where the others went, and if they went somewhere and all of them were accounted for, then you're like, yes, it is true. But if none of the others are accounted for, you'll be like, no, something is missing here, because I know my dad. He wanted to leave 90% to the other people and 10% to me. So that should be done, like it doesn't matter how, because we are the body of Christ. I'm just giving an example. Because if you know your dad, you know that he had this and this amount. And that's the same way with God. If we are his children and we don't know his heart, it's hard to discern what is being told and what we are hearing, because we have no clue. It's like we'll just take whatever we hear. John 15:14. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because the servant that does not know his master's business. And that's what I was just saying. If you're the servant, unless you're the only servant and the person has no children, you might know the business of the master, but people who know the business of the master are the children of the master. Sons and daughters of the king, they know the business of the master, because he reveals to them, especially if they spend time with him, the king. They sit down and he whispers to them his business. He, daily he just drops out one wisdom. He drops out something, and if they're smart, they grasp it and they use it for kingdom work. They use it in their day-to-day life, and they walk with that confidence. So the chosen, as the antenna is synced with Christ, they respond to the calling to follow Christ. So we've all received the invitation. We've got it, right? But did you reserve? That's the question we keep on going to ask. I'll keep on asking. Did you say, yes, I'm coming. Yes, I'll follow you. Yes, I'll follow you through thick and thin. Yes, I will come. And the invitation has been sent to all of us. It doesn't matter who you are, because God is not a respecter of persons. It doesn't matter who you are. You've received the invitation. Have you just accepted it? Have you opened it? Have you opened it to see that, Nelly, I'm inviting you to be my princess. I'm inviting you to be the daughter of the Most High King. So being in sync with the holy, with heaven, the chosen get God's guidance always, and they know God's will. They always seek for God's will, and they're constantly filled with the thoughts of living a life that is pleasing to God. They also stick to the race. Even when tragedy befalls them, they will stick to the race. When tragedy hits, and I always give this example that it's like you're on a highway. So you're like on a highway, in kingdom work, kingdom life. Our life with Christ is like you're on a highway, and then tragedy befalls you. If you're chosen and you're listening to God's will, you might take a break, sit down at the bus stop, but continue on. Because if you really are not sure of what God's calling is, or the direction you're meant to take, you'll take the first exit and go into deep in the village, and by the time you come back, you've lost a little focus here and there. But if you really know that what you're meant to pursue, and you're called to do it, trouble might hit you, tragedy might hit you, but you'll still stick on the road. You might sit by the roadside next to the highway, but still, after some time, it doesn't matter how long you take in that break, you'll still get up and proceed. So the enemy always wants us to lose focus. When tragedy hits and is like, you see the road is tough, just take the exit and go back home. People need you at home, or everything that you've left behind is in need of you. That's the enemy trying to make us lose focused. But we should not give up. God is not. He's not gonna let us to suffer like for nothing. He has a purpose for us. Let's just be open with God, even in terms of tragedy and those frustrations. Let's just be open with him and say, you promised me that you are gonna call me and you're gonna provide, but this does not look like it right now. It doesn't. Is this your will? Does my broken heart mean that this is your will? Was my broken heart a part of your plan? Let me know so that I can have the faith to continue. So trials will keep coming, meaning growth is coming, and new revelation is coming, new glory is coming, new assignment, new fresh grace, and all that is coming. Because James 1, to consider it all joy, which I always say is not easy to consider it all joy when we go through trials and temptation. But through that, we give perseverance. Through that, we get a deep understanding who God is and what our character is. So let our lights continue shining. Let it shine out. Let it shine on as people who are called and chosen. Let us put our candles on top of the table, not hiding it down under the table. Let us be like the city on top of a hill. Everybody sees it for the glory of Christ. Because it's not for our glory, it's for the glory of Christ. So don't shimmer down. Don't shimmer down. Was it Lisa, this motivational speaker, and she was like, if people are turned down by your light and they say you should turn it down, she said, or they just need glasses. You don't shimmer down your light, you don't turn it down, they just need to wear glasses so that they're not too distracted with your light. So my encouragement is, it's showtime. Lights are on, the stage is set, the invitation has come, the camera is on, the path to the center stage, to the platform is on. Open your invitation and say yes, because it is time. Open it, walk to the center stage of God's masterpiece, of his masterclass, because this is where you will emerge being who God has called you to be. So open the invitation and come to the masterclass to be a masterpiece. God bless you. Bye.